played either vanilla or AOTR and have wanted some sort of a counter to getting nuked, zapped by the classic wizard blast of either Saruman or Gondalf, Word of Power, Lightning Blast, Army of the Dead, Dragon Strike, Balrog, and so on? Well, believe it or not, you actually can. Vanilla has virtually no counter to any of these sorts of devastating attacks, but I'll take a look at the scant few bits of protection there are regardless. While a little bit of a hidden or otherwise not often used function in either game, it can definitely keep the tide from turning against you if you're in the right place at the right time. In vanilla, the few magic attacks you might survive come from only magic protection scaling for certain units. While AOTR also has magic protection scaling, it is far more viable, affecting more units. AOTR, however, also offers unique rare heroes and spellbook powers that provide extremely high levels of magic protection. This kind of protection only comes from a scant few sources in the whole game. Gandalf, Saruman, and the White Stag of the Woodland Realm faction are the prime sources of this magic protection. So let's first take a look at how much magic protection is afforded in-game by first looking at the scant protection offered in vanilla. In both vanilla and AOTR, there is a scaling of protection against magic attacks, reliant on such things as whether your units have the armor upgrade, what level they are, and what tier of unit they belong to. So even if your troops do not have a hero with magic protection nearby, they may have a small chance of surviving such an attack. But in vanilla, it is a far, far smaller chance of surviving magical abilities than in AOTR, as will be seen in a moment. This all depends on what level the hero doing the attacking is and what ability they are using. Gandalf can do more damage and in a wider radius at level 10, after all, than level 1. In both games, this kind of protection scaling is also dependent upon whether your troops are Tier 1 early game troops or Tier 2 mid-game troops or higher. In both games, naturally, even with the armor upgrade, early game troops won't stand a chance in comparison to the higher tier ones. Let's demonstrate this in vanilla with the Uruk-hai. The vanilla Uruk-hai are something of a more advanced Tier 1 unit, given their stats, cost, and performance, but they're not quite a Tier 2 status. You'll see that Lurtz is with them in the middle, buffing them out with his leadership. As you can see, these Uruk-hai could barely survive this wizard blast. The only way for them to do so is to have had the armor upgrade and be level 2 or higher and have a buff. In this case, Lurtz, but Tainted Land would have worked too. Lacking any one of these would spell doom for them. You'll notice, by the way, that not all troops are damaged. This has nothing to do with armor against magic and everything to do with hit radius of the blast. In other words, they don't die only because of the odd hit radius not actually affecting them, not because they're protected from it. This blast sometimes will wipe all of them out. But even many Tier 2 units have to have the armor upgrade to even barely survive. And health of survivors is only increased by mere increments the higher their level. It makes almost no difference at all. So in the midst of a battle with many units, and your Tier 2 upgraded unit like the Tower Guards gets zapped by a Wizard Blast, they'll likely die from the battle soon afterward anyways. In vanilla, certain rare Tier 2 units like level 1 Gondor Tower Guards can survive a Wizard Blast if they have the armor upgrade, even if Isengard's Tier 1 level 1 Uruk-hai could not. As is to be expected, heroic units in both games have higher armor against magic attacks than normal units, though the stats are different for each game. For instance, even without a hero ally with magic protection, heroic units in AOTR, like the Swan Knights, have better protection at level 1 against even Saruman's level 10 Wizard Blast than in vanilla. But even level 10 Swan Knights are no match against Saruman's Lightning Blast in either game. Let's first look at the Wizard Blast. You can see the AOTR version of the Knights have about 50% health remaining compared to Vanilla's probably 5 to 10%. Now let's look at Saruman's Lightning Strike. The Swan Knights do not survive even at level 10 in either game. Some magic attacks are simply too much even for heroic units. What about Vanilla's Word of Power then? Can any normal or heroic unit be protected from it? Here's the Tier 1 Uruk-hai, the Tier 2 Tower Guards, and fully leveled up Knights of Dol Amroth to represent Tier 1, 2, and heroic units across the game. All three are fully leveled up, and the former two are fully upgraded and have a buff. And while buffs do not work on heroic units in vanilla, I gave the Knights Elven Wood just for kicks. Let's see who survives. None survive no matter what kind of armor or buffs they have. This is vastly different in AOTR. As you have seen, the possibilities of surviving these magic attacks in vanilla is slim to none for normal units, even more so if in the midst of a battle, given their low survival health. For myself and many others, there's little else that's as off-putting and frustrating as when you put in a lot of work to upgrade and level up your units, only to have them completely wiped out by the push of a button, with little to no skill involved. It's like a cheat code or something. Thankfully, AOTR changes this dynamic in some fairly rewarding ways, which make the game more interesting. AOTR offers a handful of units and powers which provide very high levels of magic protection to nearby troops, a game mechanic not available at all in vanilla. It's something which helps to bring the world to life that much more. To show this contrast, let's take a brief look at vanilla to demonstrate how this is not to be found in that game, with the same units to be used later in AOTR. Notice that Gandalf is standing nearby the troops. Now let's see what AOTR has to offer for magic protection for both of them. You can see here that both Gandalf and Saruman offer the same amount of protection from magic and elemental damage, 300%. We all know the instant death their Wizard Blast, Lightning Strike, and Word of Power abilities dish out. Let's see what happens with their magic protection. Notice the sparkle effect over the troops signifying they are being protected by Gandalf. Much more capable protection from these lethal blasts with either wizard around. Now let's see the protection against the mighty Word of Power. We'll use the Tier 2 Isengard Uruk-hai Swordsman. As you can see, AOTR offers much better protection against this classic nuke than vanilla. As you may recall, the Uruks could not have survived either scenario in the vanilla game. AOTR has given the Witch King himself a nuke though, available only at level 10. Let's watch the chaos unfold when enemy troops are not protected. The dynamics AOTR provides never cease to amaze. What about the dreaded Army of the Dead, though? Vanilla's is a total beast of a power, as we know, but in AOTR it has been largely removed, to be replaced by a far smaller iteration in the 25 PP spellbook power aptly named The Return of the King for the Gondor faction. With it you spawn Aragorn. He can then use the power in a small radius, but is instant death to most troops. Is there protection against this? Let's use Saruman and find out. Pretty stunning. This protection would definitely have turned the tables back around, especially if those troops had the armor upgrade or were higher levels. Now let's move up to the big powers. Dol Guldur has an extremely powerful attack called the Gift of the Necromancer. Let's watch. A fairly nasty power. Is there any protection against it though? Well, not from Gandalf or Saruman this time. They're not that powerful. There is only one power in the game which can though. The Woodland Realm's White Stag. It has an ability which provides complete immunity to all magic and elemental damage. Let's see what happens now. Incredible! An anti-nuke in BFME. How many times have players of Vanilla wanted something like this? As good as this is, can the White Stag protect against anything else? Let's see how it does against the all-powerful Balrog. And this is about the point where most players would probably rage quit. Few things can beat the power of the White Stag. There are some it cannot protect against though, like the Eye of Sauron or the Avalanche, but otherwise it's an amazing power. As you have seen, even if you have to have these special units in just the right place, at just the right time, they can push back the tide and help you turn the game back in your favor. Good luck and have fun!